At some point, let's hope very soon, you will be asked to present a budget or be offered a job with an existing budget in place. In either case, it's essential that you know how to price your work to ensure that you're not pricing yourself out of the market or selling yourself too cheaply.
To do that, you need to understand how to break down the various elements of a music budget to ensure that it is clearly thought through, properly itemized, and justified.
Or that the budget you've been presented with will allow you to complete the job in a professional way, making sure that everyone involved, including yourself, gets properly paid.
Although the basic principles of putting a music budget together are the same whether it's for a long-form project or a TV commercial, we're going to focus here on music budgeting for a commercial, since after all, TV commercials are PCAM's core area of business expertise.
The first part of a music budget covers the costs associated with making or realizing the music, the production costs. This covers all sorts of things, so it's a good idea to make a comprehensive checklist.
Not every element will feature in every budget, but by consulting your list, you can avoid missing crucial cost elements and end up having to go back to the client at a later date to add the costs on, or even worse, having to soak the costs up yourself.
So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what's involved in this production and how long is it going to take?
It's important to remember that you should charge for studio time whether you're going to be recording in Abbey Road 1 or in your own garden shed studio. They're both legitimate places to record, they both cost money to build and to maintain, and they both need not only to cover their costs but to make a profit.
Similarly, if you are playing all the instruments or singing the jingle, the cost should be no less than if you had to hire other professionals in to play and sing. The list here is not exhaustive, so take time to compile your own checklist of all the production cost elements you can think of.
And a word of caution, make sure that all samples and sound effects brought in from an outside source have been cleared for commercial broadcast.
Also, if you're going to spend time sourcing musicians, hiring studios, etc., it's perfectly legitimate to charge for your time, either by marking up those direct costs a little bit or by charging a production fee. If you do charge a production fee, don't try and hide it. Mark it down as admin cost or production fee.
We're working here on the basis that you've got the gig already, but in case you haven't, we need to talk about demo fees before we go any further.
We could do a whole module on demo fees, and quite possibly we will at some point in the future, but until that time, the information you're getting here applies to demo fees for commercials.
We should add that this will not necessarily apply for demo pitches for other forms of media music, for instance, a TV series. But for commercials, follow this advice.
Once you have figured out the production costs, the next element of your budget is your composition fee.
This is what you charge for your creative genius, and the price you put on that is entirely up to you.
As an indicator of what's out there in the market, people appear to be charging anything between £1,500 and £5,000 for their composition fee. You need to figure out where on that scale feels right for you. For example, if you're just setting out, it's clear that you'll need to be slightly cheaper than someone like Hans Zimmer or Ennio Morricone.
The significance of the composition fee in compiling your budget is that it forms the basis on which you will eventually calculate your usage license fees.
PCAM has formulas which have been agreed with the IPA, the Institute of Practitioners of Advertising, whereby licenses for media and territory are calculated as percentages or multiples of your composition fee.
So now we come to the third part of your music budget, the usage licenses.
These licenses cover three areas: media, TV, radio, online, term or duration, and territory. Guideline recommendations for how to calculate these as a percentage or a multiple of your composition fee can be found in the members area of the PCAM website at pcam.co.uk.
Remember that 1 year's usage on terrestrial TV in the country of first use is deemed to be included in the initial music budget.
As I mentioned earlier, you will sometimes be presented with a budget that has been fixed in advance by the agency or client.
If that happens, subject it to the same sort of scrutiny that you would use to compile your own budget. Will it cover production costs, the composition fee, and perhaps also the usage licenses required?
As you can see here, there are other variables you might encounter when budgeting. Many of these are addressed on PCAM's website, and although this is certainly not intended to be a recruitment video, the PCAM community of members, along with our email helpline, can provide valuable sources of help, experience and information.
We hope you found this module informative and useful. PCAM will be making more modules designed to give career advice to music professionals, so look out for them and spread the word.